Polygamy is a long-standing practice that is practiced in the world in different cultures and religions. In Islam per se, polygamy is very acceptable, but not without guidelines, but not also without certain limitations and criticisms. Today, as we sit here with
Kaisa,
Rama, and our honored guest, we want to see the journey of a man's mindset towards polygamy, which I would gladly throw at our guest since he is a man.
that's like throwing him under the bus.
I'm telling you, I feel like, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is a very complex conversation, and I must lay a caveat from day one, from the beginning of the program, that I may not be the best resource to discuss this issue because I'm in a monogamous relationship.
Yes, and we like it like that.
That's how we like it in this town.
So we'll speak about, how to go about it, but mine might not be practical in nature. So to the viewers who have practical experience, they may decide to share later on with in the comments. But I'm just going to give general overview, and I would also love to hear from the sisters as well, what they go through when they hear some of these things. So it's going to be an engaging conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would want to believe.
Faiza. Well, being a man, even though you say you're monogamous, I mean, sorry to say, we've all heard from mostly our Muslim brothers, I'm monogamous. But along the line, they start exercising the thought of, adding one. Normally, or unfortunately, it's not out of love. It's more of, to some men, it's like, punishment or trying to give you a bit more competition. I just want to understand what should be the main reasons of a man adding a wife in Islam. Yeah.
Okay, so from an Islamic point of view, a man doesn't need a reason to add another wife. So from an Islamic point of view, I don't need a reason today to say if I'm married to my spouse because of A, B, C, and D, I'm going to add another wife. I don't need to have a reason. But I think oftentimes what happens, especially, and I'm going to contextualize within our Zongo communities, is that, as you rightly said, most conversations around polygamy start by kijiko na karamata.
Yes.
So from that, it sets a very negative tone when it comes to the issue around polygamy. Now, the basis of polygamy, as you said, from time immemorial, societies have been polygamous. Till today, within our society and within other societies, they are still practicing polygamy. And polygamy here, we need to also be specific because there are, several types of polygamy, especially now what's happening in the West. So what Islam allows is a term called polygyny, where a man can marry multiple women. And not the other way around, which is called polyandry, where a woman gets married to multiple men. And today there are societies where people are, in fact, that you don't even know what the term is. They call it swinging, where multiple men are having a relationship exactly with multiple women who are also married. That is a confused state.
Yeah, that's dirt.
But from an Islamic point of view, what is allowed is polygyny, where a man can marry multiple women. Now, as I said, the man doesn't need a reason from an Islamic point of view to get married.
But then are there, for example, I keep hearing that the man needs to make sure his first wife is okay, or she accepts the fact that he wants to take another wife? Isn't that another thing to say? This should be like, I don't have to be like procedure or the guidelines for it to be the right way to do it. Because what you just be there, and then sometimes they'll bring one and be like, oh, this is the second
Your
wife.
sister.
You don't know, this is your sister wife. You don't know how it happened. You just then and they'll bring her, and you don't have a say. Is that how it's supposed to be?
Okay, so when it comes to polygyny, where the man wants to get married to multiple women, it's always an uncomfortable situation. So we have the ideal situation where a man is supposed to go through certain processes before he gets married to another spouse, and you have what our current situation dictates, or what our environment is also bringing up. I think the term that has been used in Hausa, for instance, Kishia means your rival. It sends negative connotations around polygamy. Now, the reason why Islam placed a cap on the number of women a man can get married to is so that there is not too much promiscuity and wanton relationship between a man and a woman. Prior to the advent of Islam, men had no cap. Men in the era, during the time, they call it the era of ignorance, got married to so many women. In fact, some of them, they don't even get married with. There were a lot of illicit relationships. Now, Islam came in and brought in a cap of 4 women to a man. That's the maximum you can go. That is what you can exercise. Now, if we look at the journey that a man goes through, if we take the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if we take one of the most notable ones, which is Umar, he got married to a few women because he said he wants the Prophet to be proud of him on the day of judgment because he had a large family. Now, if you look at during the time of the Prophet, most of the women that got married, most of the men who got married to multiple women did so out of the prevailing conditions where there were a lot of wars, where the men had to go and fight, and some of them die, and their widows, would remain in order to, get society functioning properly. So the remaining men would now get married to the spouses of those men who got deceased. So basically, that was the prevailing circumstance. But the Quran is very clear. I mean, a man can marry. In fact, the Quran starts with 2.
So there's no limit.
No, there's a limit of 4, but it's the verse opens to say, "Thank you, ma tawwa lakum min an-nisa mathna." You can marry women that your hearts desire. The Quran started with 2. Marry 2, marry 3, marry 4. Then they said, if you can't, be fair, then marry 1.
Isn't there not authentic a hadith that says that the men who want to add, I'm not saying it is necessarily, but like they should also consider single women, widows, aging women, and I think if anyone
barren women also.
Yeah, I don't remember the 4th one, but I think single women who are aging, and then widows and divorcees. But yet again, in our current society, you see men, what they actually do is, when he's adding women, he has to make sure that he finds a very young, fresh one who is going to, compete with his wife.
They say it keeps them
fresh.
I
feel like, they defy the idea behind polygamy in Islam for me. But I don't know. I may be wrong. I stand corrected.
No. I mean, your observation is correct, is right. And I think it's one of the reasons where why a lot of women get uncomfortable when the idea of polygyny is brought, or that discussion is even brought. It's because people have now moved away, or men, let me not say people, but men have moved away from the essence of marriage.
Thank you.
So what is the essence? Why are you getting married in the first place?
Yeah.
It is not for you to, as you say, to keep you fresh or to keep you young. But the essence is to keep society functioning properly. So if to keep society functioning properly, you have widows, you have divorcees, you have people, women who
are just growing
are growing old, and so the essence is, so every kind of woman, regardless of her situation, would also find a man to get married to. But as I said, because the intent is not right, that is why you tend to find all these issues.
Happening.
So the ideal situation would be, if you look at the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, with the exception of our mother Sayyidah Aisha, all the women that the Prophet got married to subsequently were divorcees. So the question now is, okay, if we want to practice the Sunnah properly, why are we not contextualizing some of these conversations?
Yes.
And for me, I think, because we are, is also another understanding of religion, and people, are pursuing their heart desires more than, they're pursuing the dictates of the religion.
Yes.
That is why we fall into some of these
situations.
Yeah.
But Sarama, given what you're saying, I mean, it's a good thing, but based on how the men treat polygyny in our current society, instead of the women being helpers of each other, they turn out to become enemies of each other.
Yeah, we are own enemies. That is external.
It's because I feel like it's because of the way men handle it. I feel like they just heard the word polygyny, but they are not really educated. Like it said, it has guidelines they have to follow. You see a man marrying 2 women, and then maybe, like you said, the elder wife, age and something, so there are things she's not able to do. Now, instead of him making her feel appreciated that, okay, you have a co-wife who will help with a few things, he makes her feel like the new wife is a competition. And thereby making her already building a shield already. And now everything, instead of her seeing it with the eye of, okay, she's a friend, she's a sister, it's all more like, okay, you're my rival and everything. Like Sheikh said, the word kishia means kishi, rivalry. Right from the onset, it's like everything you and I are going to be, on a sort of scale. So we have to be guarded against
that's
each
not
other.
even my issue with polygyny. If I believe if it has happened, it has to happen. I'm okay with it. I've never been against it. But my only issue with it is the fact that you find so many women or men going into this and they are barely able to cater for the family they have.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And they will go on and bring extra people. And then now, the women now have to bicker and bicker just because of the little he will give to them. When I believe it's supposed to be equal treatment all around.
Yeah.
Even the kids don't even feel the solidarity amongst them and they start fighting each other.
Yeah.
When it's supposed to be the other way around.
Yeah.
So that's where my issue lies. When the man isn't ready and he will go and bring an extra burden and he's like, now we have to fight for crumbs.
For what you just said, what I can say to that is, granted, there are a lot of immature, uneducated, ignorant men that are getting married and are allowed to have their way. Because again, we live in a culture where, unfortunately, men are not held accountable. So they get to do what they want to do. My question to Sheikh is, some of the people that bless these marriages, do they do their homework, investigate if he's doing right by his initial family? Because I feel like that is overlooked. And if it's not something that has been discussed, maybe it should be looked at. Because if a man comes to you and says, Sheikh, do we have anybody that would ask him how, or is that something that is required to ask him or tell him, the one you've married, that you've lined up the children? We see the kids running around every day. They're not even in school. They don't even have so what business do you have Can that happen? I feel like if we are able to do that as a community, we could regulate these things. Because before Nikai takes place, a malam has to bless it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know some parents' desperation give their daughters out, but I honestly feel like the Muslim community should think about doing that. That way, it will be regulated. So nobody's child goes into, because this morning we found out what had happened. A lady who sews passed away in her shop whilst working. Nobody knew what happened. Apparently, she was at the hospital the day before, out of stress or whatever. So she just passed away. She was sewing people's cloth. We're just finding out, because apparently she lives at Kwabinya. She comes to work at Dome at 6 a.m. and leaves to the house at 10 to 11 a.m. and p.m. And I'm told she got married last year. No kids yet. We just found out that the man has 2 other wives. And she was the third that he got married to. And they were all living in that's another thing. If you don't have money, you don't have any business. Honestly, in this day and age. And they were all living in the same household. That's why I'm saying that this is just a segue. You better cry. It's better you cry in what's it called? Bentley. Because even he's a poor man who went, I don't know if they gave the girl to him or he just sorted her out. But now she's passed away. She got buried yesterday. But he has other 2 wives. So now her family
have to
lost.
The loss, yeah.
So to me, when he was marrying them back to back, was that regulated? Did the community find out? Are you doing your due diligence? Like, until we
Are you capable?
Are you capable?
Because what would drive you from leaving the hospital to
unfortunately,
go
it's become more of a trophy thing for men.
And as you said, they are deviating from what it was intended for.
Purpose, yes.
Yeah.
So as sheikhs and prominent figures and leaders that we all look up to, is there any way that could be regulated in our community? Because it's a recycling situation.
Yeah.
And you get frustrated sometimes when you are driving and you see some of these little ones who are supposed to be in school running around and begging. So is there a way that could be regulated?
It's a very complex situation where you need a lot of facets to be able to address this particular issue with polygyny. So let me try and break it down. So number one, in terms of regulation, nobody can place a regulation on something that Allah has legislated on. Oh yeah, definitely. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So
did you hear what I was saying?
So she's basically saying, I'm saying we can't put legislation on something that has been legislated upon. And she said Allah would ask us. Certainly, Allah is going to ask you. The Prophet ﷺ says, "Kullukum ra'in." He said, all of you are shepherds. And he was speaking specifically to men. And each of you would be questioned on what you are shepherding on. So your flock, you'll be questioned. So if you employ a shepherd today taking care of your flock, and he's not accounting for all the goats and the sheep that you've given him, you're going to get angry. So same way. So that's from a legislative point of view. But as you said, from a societal point of view, what do we have to do as members of society to be able to cure the negatives? Because as you said, if practiced properly, polygyny stands to benefit the entire society.
Exactly.
But because it's not being done per the dictates of the religion, and sometimes you also need to use, common understanding and common sense around managing some of these things. That is why we tend to find ourselves in all these issues. So for the man who does not have the capability and the capacity,
has no business getting married.
Certainly.
Even the first wife, he doesn't have any business getting
no. As I said, first one, he'll be able to take care of it. But adding on additional responsibility would require some level of maturity, which I don't think
a lot of people have.
Exactly. A lot of them don't have. Number two, as Faiza said, it's become like a trophy conversation today in our society. Look, culturally, we knew that polygamy was allowed. But if you take our communities in Ghana, it wasn't that prevalent compared to somewhere like Nigeria, where if you are marrying, you know that the man will certainly add.
Yeah.
So that one is common knowledge. But here, it didn't used to be like that. But now it's becoming, as she said, a trophy. Okay, it's becoming popular to say I've got multiple, you know, and it's become a term where the young men will start and say, "Oh, if you are married to one wife, it's as if you are not married." So people go into it without the basic knowledge and without understanding the responsibilities that it comes with. Otherwise, some of these things would have been cured. So dealing with that becomes a challenge. Now, number 3, if the imams are now start going to now legislating, they are just officiating the ceremony. But it becomes the responsibility of the families
of both parties.
Of both parties to investigate and to find out whether this individual who is going to get married to our daughter or to our child has the capability of taking care of her. It's one thing that, you know, we've also lost value from because people are now seeing, marriage is a good thing. Everybody wants to get married. But they don't tend to now do that investigation portion where, you know, you try to figure out whether that individual is capable of taking care of a woman or not.
That's crazy to me.
So there's a tradition of the Prophet where a man brought his daughter and he asked the Prophet to advise her to get married. And she asked the Prophet ﷺ, what are her responsibilities as a spouse? The Prophet enumerated her responsibilities to her, and she says she can't fulfill those responsibilities. Then the Prophet advised the father not to push her into getting married, because she says she cannot fulfill those obligations. If you push her, it means that she is going to fall short of those responsibilities. Then there's another one who came to say, I want to get married. I have 2 proposals from 2 individuals. Who should I get married to? The Prophet said, this one is violent. So he has domestic violence issues. Don't get married to him. This one also doesn't take proper care of his spouses. Don't get married to him, but go and get married to this other individual.
Maybe I enjoy it.
So there are responsibilities that you take on as a man when you get married. Now, if you can't fulfill those obligations, then
you have no business.
You have no business being in that kind of environment.
So let's say you are in a marriage with someone and then you feel as a woman, the person isn't doing what he's supposed to do. But then this person wants to add on another wife. What can you do? Like you as a woman, like what is the right way to go about it to, I don't
prevent
know, it from happening or whatever? What can you do as a woman?
Nothing.
You know he can't handle things that are happening in the house.
Nada.
You can't do anything.
And that is a capital absolute. Nothing.
Really?
No.
Yes.
The best you can do is to advise him. And
a gone man is a gone man.
and to get other leaders, people that he respects, to advise him. As I said, because it's legislative, you can't prevent him. You also have decisions to make as someone who is in that relationship. Whatever your decision is, they also can't stop you. So same way you can't stop him, you can also, based on that, can't stop him from making
a lot of women
to walk
leave.
out?
Yes, a lot of women walk away.
But, well,
sorry, let me just address this issue of grounds to walk out. A woman can walk out of a relationship at any time.
Thank you.
at any time that she wants to walk out. Just that there are rules governing that. If you no, so same way as the man is going, if I'm going to walk out from a
There are
relationship,
rules
I
that
can't walk out at any time, but there are rules governing it.
got you.
So you just need to follow the rules governing you walking out.
Got you.
But a woman can walk out at any time. You
Gotcha.
don't need to wait for him to say he's going to add. I mean, it shouldn't be a basis for divorce.
Oh.
But
It shouldn't be.
yes, so ideally, yes, it shouldn't be.
You are getting to do 2 days here, 2 days here. 2 days here,
No,
2 days here.
but Rama, you admitted that.
Allergies. Babe.
No, but you are in.
No, you admitted that
No.
it's okay
Yeah,
if
Ilana
done
Roque
properly.
Gao-
I truly feel it should be, especially if the person
I
is not. If the person is not able to cater for what is happening in the house right now, I don't feel it's right for you to say, I'm advising him. After advising him, still, then he go and bring them. It's
You
like,
tell
now
me
you
you
now
make
come
Make
and
the best
suffer.
decision that's good for you.
He will tell you, "Nyame ne nipa."
This is a very complex conversation.
Mala is not
No, it's a very complex conversation. From a woman's point of view, women naturally are averse to bringing multiplicity in relationships. Naturally. So it makes the conversation very complex. You may think it is, but this is a very complex conversation. But that view is not correct.
Yeah, it's
That view is not correct.
Okay,
A
she
man
wanted
can
to ask
marry
you.
I didn't
when
understand.
he wants to marry.
Marry.
So her view is, she said she heard someone saying the woman can have preconditions that would prevent the man from getting married, which I'm saying that view is incorrect.
People change every day, even if you had agreed in the beginning.
Oh yes,
they
I'm not
change
even
later.
saying whether she agreed or not. Look, even if she agreed at some point in time, and now she's saying, I do not agree, it still is not grounds to prevent the man.
From taking another wife.
Yes. And same as he has a choice, you also have a choice. But I'm saying it's not
It's
grounds
just not
to
grounds
divorce.
to be doing.
I actually have 2 questions. One, if a man decides to add a wife, is his first wife entitled to some sort of compensation?
I was going to ask that. Do I let you say yes?
And then number 2,
Let me listen to
I
that.
want to
very
know
well.
if a Muslim woman has the right, when someone has interest in marrying her, does she have the right to tell him that, please, you want to marry me, but I am not interested in polygamy. Like I can't share you with
Oh, yeah.
another woman.
Yeah.
Does she have the right to say that? And then upon entering the marriage, and then he later resigns on that decision, does she have the right to walk out based on what they agreed on, without society stigmatizing her and calling her an evil woman?
I wonder that she can't help it. Society is stigmatizing
no.
you.
It is happening right now on Facebook. They've been dragging someone left, right, and center
They
over
will
this
do
issue.
it.
That's
You
society,
can't change
society.
society.
Exactly.
You can't
As for
base your
societal
decision.
stigmatization, no, you can't do anything
Oh,
about
okay,
it.
yeah, but-
People would say what they want to say, they will do what they want to do.
Okay.
So on the basis of the agreement, so yes, so that becomes a basis for her. So, but the man can still make the promise and still go ahead and break his
And break
promise.
it.
There are consequences to that.
But
Once
she's not. Is she
no, for her,
committing
there's
a bad
basis.
thing when
In the
she walks
beginning.
out?
So we always say marriage is good, and marriage is good.
Yes.
But
Who you
again, so Rama is saying who you marry is as much important as the institution
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Because what marriage is supposed to prevent is a society where there are no boundaries when it comes to the interactions between men and women.
Okay.
So that is what marriage is supposed to bridge. Now, at any point in time, any party can leave. That one, it's not a lifelong bondage.
Yes.
At any point in time, just as again, there are rules. Just follow the rules and step out. So for divorce, the house I would say, so let's say the contract of marriage is rest with the man. So if the man today, for whatever reason, says, I do not want to be with my spouse again, he comes in and says, I think I need a divorce. And the process goes. So there's a waiting period, the woman waits, and after the waiting period of 3 months, she goes away. Now, if if it's going to flip, the woman says, okay, I'm the one who now is seeking for divorce. And here we are not talking about where there have been promises broken.
Yeah, this is just.
So this is just the woman one
Yes,
morning waking up to say, I don't think I can be with my husband any longer. She sits him down and says, I can't be with you any longer. And the rule is that whatever he gave to her as dowry,
She has to return
she
it.
needs to return it.
Hey. Ustaz, even after babies,
She
Even
needs to
after
return
children.
it.
even after I've had his babies.
She needs to return it.
People
Hey.
So that's the so that's again. So going back to our conversation
For what?
around
That is not fair.
around rules. It's
If I no, sir, then honestly, we would have to have a lengthy conversation for me to understand that. Because I mean, I've come in, I've had babies, I've lost a lot in my life.
And
my
now you have
prime,
to return
And
my
I have
youth.
to return to
Like,
once you are the one who initiated the divorce,
with valid reasons.
it's called khul.
so what would he give me since he initiated?
He's supposed to give you a parting gift.
Sorry, am I right? Under the border.
No. So as
Under the
for
border.
sorry, no, but God,
No.
it's a
a
gift.
parting gift.
It's a
yeah.
parting gift that he's supposed to give
Ustaz,
you.
they don't give us
So
so.
what the whites would call alimony today. So
Yeah.
it's supposed to be a gift that he gives you whilst going away.
Ask
Okay,
ask
so
for your
today-
alimony. oh.
They didn't give
Take
me,
them
Ustaz,
to
they didn't
court.
give me.
I
Take them
think,
to court. Ask for your alimony.
I think what happens in our society today is because number one, because of ignorance, people are not following the rules of
Oh yes.
divorce. Number two,
Atayin utuba daga masallacin Juma. Matan nan maganganun mu na yayi yawa. The utubas in the mosque is always about women. Some of this information we would
don't
love
have
to
it.
hear them doing utuba. Madam, please, you people should do better for us.
and you see, number two, the men also are also not. They are also not following rules because they don't know.
A lot of them, they don't know.
The ideal situation when it comes to issues of divorce, it's not what we see in our communities where the man's family would come in and start throwing the woman's things out.
Yeah.
That's not how it's supposed to be. In fact, when there is intent for divorce, if there is no issue of promiscuity around, once there is an intent, there's supposed to be a waiting period. The woman is supposed to live with the man during that waiting period. And the waiting period is meant so that if both of you set things in anger, during that waiting period, things would have cooled down and you would have started, being level-headed. So you don't do things out of anger. But today you see a lot of divorce happening in our communities out of anger, just because of an incident. People base on that and they start accusing each other and they throw things out. But that waiting period is critical, in order to see if there's going to be a reconciliation.
Okay.
Now, for the woman, once she is the one initiating, she has to give it back.
Hey.
Because during the time of the prophet, a woman came to the prophet and says, I don't want my husband again. Then the prophet asked her, are you willing to return? Because he gave her a farm as a dowry. He asked, are you willing to return his gift to you? She says yes, and even more if he wants it.
Okay, then that one, she really wanted him out.
So if you want out, you can give her. And maybe an advice to the men as well. It is always best for you not to accept it, although it's your right to accept it. But it is best not to accept because Allah keeps reminding us that we should not forget the fadl. So fadl is the blessings that has happened between us, the interactions that have happened between us, the moment of affection and love that has happened between us in the past. So we should not ignore that and say, because she's now coming to me and says she wants to, I'm going to take everything that I gave her at the beginning. So it's very important. That's why education is critical,
It's very
on this
critical.
particular issue, both from the male side and from the female side.
I just personally believe the community can do better in creating awareness on situations that are actually affecting us in our day-to-day. And I think I've complained that to you before. The places where Muslims gather a lot, we don't take advantage of those places to educate people. And that's just sad, because if people keep hearing it over and over and over and over, it's even going to be, even if they'll practice it, it won't be as easy. And they are not even held accountable in any shape or form. And it's unfortunate, as you said, and I think it's going to be like that for a very, very long time. I guess what I would say to families, especially to women, girls, families of daughters, is poverty is a problem in our community. And because of that reason, parents are just, let me put it this way, selling their children out because of poverty and ignoring what Allah has asked them to. Because you're supposed to investigate the man.
Yes. It's a must.
And make sure that he's right for your child, to avoid all these problems.
Yes.
And also, even if she goes into it and she's not encountering problems, she should be welcome home. So the lack of a lot of women not knowing where to go is also a reason why they deal with all these things. And we women, we have to do better.
But Rama, I want to take Ustaz back to when he talked about ignorance. I know this doesn't cut across, but unfortunately in our communities, per my observation, our clerics who are supposed to do better, who are supposed to teach about it, are those who fall short in the area. Because a few of us got married to people who we see as clerics, but they honestly give us a very bad example of religion. Yes, so if you're expecting to learn more about polygyny from him, that is exactly where you're going to actually hate the subject. Yes, so I don't know how Ustaz will deal with the issue of ignorance, but even within our clerics, they are really doing a lousy job when it comes to it.
That one.
Most of them.
Yeah. I mean, I always say that there's difference between knowledge and practice.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a huge gap between knowledge and practice. And I've always maintained that just because you are a malam, you are widely read, doesn't necessarily mean you know how to manage a woman.
Yes.
It's true.
Look, these are completely
two
separate
things.
knowledge.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
So you would see someone who is knowledgeable in Islam, but when it comes to practice around, especially the relationship aspect, you'd see the person falling short.
Yes.
And this is where I would also call on Muslim scholars, it is knowledge.
Yes.
So they need to also learn from people who have that knowledge and that have that level of exposure.
Yes.
Otherwise, you will think that you can do wholesale application of the theoretical aspect of the knowledge that you know into practice. So let me give you an example. If you take a tradition of the Prophet in the context of their environment, the women of that environment are completely different from the women of this environment.
Oh, yes.
So if you are going to apply a rule, it becomes, and if you don't contextualize that application, it becomes very difficult for you to be able to do that. So certainly, I mean, I certainly do agree with you. I've also had interactions with some clerics on how they interact with their spouses. The interactions isn't pleasant, isn't welcoming. So that is where Rame's earlier point around culture and religion comes in.
Okay.
A lot of the things that they do, they would think that it is Islam that is guiding, but it's mostly cultural. Where the woman is seen as a second-class citizen within the home. She's not allowed to express her views on things. As the man, you have responsibility to address. But a lot of the conversation needs to be.
Marlon,
you need to have.
If wifey says she's giving you the green light to have another wife, is this something you do for your own personal self?
Personally, at this point in time, no.
At this point in time, but you're not saying never say never.
So personally, at this point in time,
No.
as I said,
So are you
no.
saying that in the future, likely it can happen?
He will
No,
repeat
no,
it.
no. Let's say
Marlon, yes or no?
no. You see, this is not a yes or no
Marlon,
question.
Marlon. Could be
You
the
see-
knee. Could be the knee.
You are
Yes
trying
or
to-
no?
you see,
In the kinaji.
no. You see, I'm at a stage
Uh-huh.
in my development where there are things that I consider as priority
Mhm.
than just getting married.
Before you
Good.
continue, let's say you go to Saudi to study or Morocco,
Yeah,
and one big man
yeah,
just likes your character,
yeah,
and he wants to give you his
beautiful
daughter.
yeah.
You're just like they gave Nabi Muhammad sallallahu
Oh,
alaihi wasallam. Would you accept it?
But I went there to study. I didn't go there to
Okay,
get
so
married.
let's say yeah. So you went there to study. So if he
So I'm going
tells
to
you,
focus on my studies.
Please,
So you
I
will
like
not
to say
accept it?
Sheikh
Yeah.
is a
You
very
wouldn't.
political man.
Look, at this
You
point in
wouldn't.
time, no. At this point in
Future
time,
politics.
okay,
at this
Good
point in
answer.
time, it is not something that I'm considering. The reason because, and you have had this conversation with you, and I've told you I'm at peace with my spouse now.
yeah, she's very beautiful, by the way.
I mean, it's not even about the
Nobody
beauty.
stands a
It's
chance.
about
She's my mate.
it's about how she's handled me
Eh?
since we got married.
Because
See?
yes, you are a lot to handle. Yes, so this is
Kudos
one of
to
the
her.
good. Learn.
So for me, at this point in
Learn.
time,
Yeah, you're listening.
no,
Okay.
because
Inshallah, never.
I need to focus, and my focus is on building a solid family and putting a lot of
The brotherhood is
effort
proud of you.
in
In
bringing
raising
up
sisterhood
the
is
children
proud.
as
Yeah,
well,
Even the
brother-
sisterhood is
and
proud
to
at this
also
point.
make keep
Is it allowed?
No, it's not allowed.
Now, Mukaiya.
And
The
to keep
sisterhood
her-
is very
I wanna-
proud.
and to keep her,
That's a good answer.
a peace
What I
of
wanted
mind.
to ask you, when you were getting your divorce, right? What was the process? Was it something you got up? Did you consult family? Did they try to stop you? Like,
Her mind was made up.
I didn't have. It was really very. How would I say it? The procedures we start was talking of. I didn't get some. Like yeah, it was just. It was very dismissive. Sorry, Mama, why did you bring this question? I don't know how to put it, but it wasn't like
you don't need to.
You were
answer
told to
though.
go home.
yes. I was told to go home. So either I stopped. I didn't stay to do either. I simply just stayed in the building because I just refused to at that point vacate the premises. But the spouse in question wasn't in Ghana, so he simply had no choice. But I wasn't allowed to do IDDA. And even all the processes of IDDA wasn't done, like, in terms of sustenance for I and the kids and like maybe his family checking in
For
because
those who
he's
don't
absent.
know what IDDA is, if you could just
Yeah,
The
IDDA
waiting
is
period.
the waiting period after a divorce. So it's more like I was just left in limbo.
Okay.
Yeah, and I still stayed on. I actually exceeded the IDDA. I was there for like 4 years before I moved out.
So my
of the
next
building.
question, as a divorcee right now, if a man with a wife approaches you to be his second wife, would you take it on? From what you've experienced as a first wife.
From what I've experienced as a first wife and per my readings on polygyny currently, if a man with a wife wants to add me, honestly, I would want to see the condition of his first wife and his
Okay.
kids first.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and being a mom, I need to understand his state of mind, whether he's matured enough to know that I come as a package.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you go out of your way to get to know the first wife, or you feel like it's none of your business? To build a
Honestly, at this
relationship?
point, I really need to. It's not like I'm going to approach her personally, but then and again, I would have my ways of knowing her current condition if she's comfortable.
Faisal, do you think first wives and other wives need to interact with each other?
Me.
Yes.
You said Pfizer.
Sorry,
Oh,
Faisal,
you see.
you're confusing me.
You see, that's why I was like, me.
Yeah,
Well, I think they do need to interact.
you think so?
They really do need to interact. Me, I always stand on the fact that we need to live in harmony.
Are you open to being a second wife?
Oh, I'm open to it.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Huda, are you open to
But
being a
money,
This one that she's beating her head
if
already.
you
What
are
would be the
taking
reason-
me
what
as
would be the-
second wife,
what
you
would
have
be-
to be good.
What would be the reasons for you to accept that position?
That
Some of
the,
the conditions that
the
you...
man, like the wife there
Mhm.
and the man are good. Like
Okay,
finances is not an issue.
it's not?
like if it's not an issue for the man, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay.
Like,
He's able to take care of his
yes,
own.
because
Okay.
my granddad has 4 wives,
Okay.
and all my grandmothers live in the same, like
Household.
not the same household, but you can see it's been separated.
Okay.
But when it comes to us all being together, we are always together. We are all
Okay.
like the
So
wives
there's
can sit down,
harmony.
chat. Those are the
Okay.
things I want. So
Okay.
and they are good. They don't complain because the money
He
is
was
there.
like, yeah.
You
that's
get it?
true.
So
Sarah, I wanted to add one more reason. I would agree to go into a polygamous marriage if the man is also not marrying me to, spite his
Spite.
wife. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But you never know.
You never
the
know.
No, you would definitely find ways of knowing, because if he's
Okay.
going to spite your wife, he's setting you up for an enemy.
Exactly.
Yes. And
The
that is not
my
what-
last
what
question
is a
to
healthy
my
man.
last question to Sheikh before you wrap up is: should a man? I mean, this will speak of the man's character most of the time, because in the beginning he did mention a man does not have to consult his wife if he needs to go get married. But for the sake of the union and whatever both of you have shared, that's what I'm saying, that it boils down to the person's character.
Exactly.
If the woman gives a condition and says, okay, is it mandatory for the man to
let the woman know.
no kind of compensate her? People say it's obligatory.
that
Some
one.
say it's not obligatory. So I just want you to, is it compulsory for the man to go like, I know I have to compensate you, so I'm giving you a house, $1 million,
You know.
You go to
that kind of
You
compensation.
go to the Hajj.
Hajj is bare
Get 'em.
minimum. Hajj is bare minimum.
No, we added it to it.
So Rama, I've not. I mean, as I told you, it's not something that I'm considering. So I've not deeply
But you
researched.
have blessed a lot of
I'm
marriages.
not deeply.
Man doesn't want to put himself in trouble.
No, it's not about putting myself in trouble. But I've not deeply researched as to the
standards.
legality of the compensation, whether it is mandatory or not, or whether it's something that is just acceptable.
Mala.
No, I mean,
It
I've
should be
not gone.
mandatory.
I'll check. I can
Okay.
check, and then we can share that information.
Can you check right now?
But
They want to know. A lot of women want to know. Mala, it's necessary.
but
They
you
won't
see,
get that.
bottom line
Uh-huh.
is, as Faiza was saying, you see, the man's intent is important. And the intent of getting married to multiple wives is not for you to spite the first one or to drive the first one out.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it is happening.
Yes.
So for the woman's, at least if she's even dealing with whatever is to come, she'll
At
look
least
at that
there is compensation.
compensation. You understand? So just check for her.
But each compensation is going to be according to the man's strength. So this $1 million that
You
you're
see,
talking
that's
about,
what I'm saying.
how
find
many
it all.
men would
It has to
would
be
have
done
$1
with
million
it.
to give?
It has to be done with
You find You find it. Any more questions for Shay?
No.
Well, you all heard it from Sheikh.
So polygamy is not something.
Ladies,
Yes,
prepare
polygamy is
yourselves.
not something you go into because you want to be seen as, male bravado. Women are not trophies. No, we have definite reasons why
I
people
want
go
to
into
be a
polygamy.
trophy wife.
Dubasia.
Sanu matendong gote.
But sorry, before you go, I just wanted to add this. I think with the young women, your age mate that are coming up, there's so many information out there. Don't go into anything blindly. I just advise that. Don't go into anything blindly. The time you spend on WhatsApp, on TikTok,
Read.
gather information, find people. We'll try and get Marlon Swaller's number out there. You
Hey.
can call him.
I beg.
The wife.
You can call him for guidance purposes, I beg.
Yeah.
He's a happily married man. For guidance purposes. Because some people just don't know how and where to get information to help their situation. And I think information is power. If we know better, we will do better.
Yes.
You understand? So that's just what I wanted to add. Let's research more and read more for our own sakes.
Very important.
All right then. So as you heard it from all of us, it's been a very thought-provoking discussion.
Yep.
And we have finally come to the conclusion that polygamy isn't just about having trophy wives.
It's not.
Until next time, stay focused, stay curious, and stay respectful. Mwah.
Bye.
I still want to be a trophy wife.
There's nothing wrong with being a trophy
There's
wife.
nothing wrong with being
Oh,
a
I
trophy
get you, I
wife.
get you,
but
I get you.
Everywhere is like
So that
Dangote
means
right
trophy
now.
wife, that means you won't cook, you won't clean, but
His
when
shoe is killing.
when he's coming, make sure you're in your bikini. If you want it 15 times a day, you are sorting him out.
It comes with consequences.
This Gen Z's.
Yes, no, I didn't.